they have made the one change. Daniel Wagon could have played had it been a big game, but he's been replaced tonight by Ian Hindmarsh.
Well, it's a solid looking back line there for the Parramatta side, but it's in their forwards that they have got a couple of changes. Jason Kalis is in for Michael Vella. Daniel Wagon has pulled out, but it shows the strength of play that you have at your club when you can replace Daniel Wagon with Ian Hindmarsh. It's a solid looking Eels side, and I expect them to play very well tonight.
And for the Eagles, they also have one change to their forward pack. Adam Muir is out. Greg Eberl comes off the bench and moves into the second row, and the new player on the bench is Shane Dunley.
Yes, Warren, Greg Eberl filling in for Adam Muir. Big shoes to fill, but again, he's a big, tough, robust sort of forward. Again, the forward pack's got to meet the youthful enthusiasm of the Parramatta pack, and there's plenty of try-scoring potential there. You've got Kamali, Walker, Brendan Reeves from fullback, and Steve Menzies out there who loves to run wide too.
The Parramatta dressing room not too far away from coming out onto the field. Of course, you can see in the background there Michael Vella, who is out of the side tonight. And, well, they're in such a good position, the Eels, with having this squad of players they can rotate in and out of their 17. Of course, last week they wrapped up the minor premiership, and there is the JJ Giltinan Shield, which now goes to the minor premiers. At one stage, of course, it was the trophy that went to the winner of the premiership each season, but is now the minor premiership trophy, and the Eels have that. They, of course, would like another piece of hardware and silverware, if you like, to round out their trophy cabinet in season 2001. Jeff Tuvey leads out the Northern Eagles, perhaps the second last game in his very long and illustrious career. And as we said, just the one change for the Eagles in their forward pack, with Adam Muir out and Stephen Menzies, though, at lock forward. The 13 is out there in the headgear as ever and can be a big factor in this game.
Yes, Warren, a very important player, Steve Menzies. 21 games this year, 10 tries, 15 line breaks. You can rest assured all those line breaks were out wide outside the half and the 5'8". Tackles per game too, he's put his hand up there, and metres per game fairly average there, but Steve Menzies is a strike power, particularly close to the line against the Parramatta Eels. He'll be looking certainly to strut his stuff here tonight.
The Parramatta Eels are let out, of course, by Nathan Kalis. Plenty of blue and yellow, gold if you like, in the crowd tonight, as you'd expect. Another big crowd here to see the Eels go around again. They have had a couple of 20,000 plus crowds in their last two home games against the Dragons a few weeks ago, and then last week against the West Tigers. Brett Hodgson is back tonight, the number one again, and what a season he has had.
Well, he's been terrific for the Eels so far this season, Brett Hodgson. He's only 23 years of age. He's played 21 games, scored 13 tries, made plenty of line breaks so far this season. And his support play is probably one of the best in the business. You see him lurking around the middle of the park all night.
Standing by to get things underway is Stephen Clark. He stayed back. We'll get the thumbs up to get us underway. He blows time on. And it's the Eels who will defend the southern end of Parramatta Stadium in this first half. Hodgson gets across to field it, and he gives it off to Jason Kalis, partnering his brother in the front row tonight. It's his chance in the run on 13 as Moody takes it up just outside the 20-metre line. Ryan, a run of around about 10 or 12 metres, and they get a penalty as well.
Too long, boys. Too long, mate.
Ben Walker and Jeff Tuvey, the players, penalised for not getting off Ryan quick enough, according to Stephen Clark. And of course, Jeff Tuvey does have his battles with referees at times. We'll see him, I'm sure, if they get a couple more penalties against them in a hurry, he'll be having quite a few words to Stephen Clark.
Well, what constitutes a dominant tackle? That's the rules. If you're on your back, it's a dominant tackle. They had every right to lay on top of him then and work slowly off and play the ball.
Through the hands of Taylor, away to PJ Marsh in the uncustomary position, 5'8" this evening. Last time they met, it was the Eels who beat the Eagles, 26 points to 14. That was at Brookvale in round 12. Want to reverse that tonight, of course, and they need to stay alive in the finals race, the Eagles. Taylor, away to Hodgson. Trying to link up with Violecki. The pass goes to him, but he's wrapped up by Albert Torrens. Taylor again at first receiver. Taking back on the inside for Kalis. The short pass intended for Ryan, but he wasn't able to come up with it. It's Torrens who jumps on it for the Eagles. O'Mealy, one of a number of players very much in question as to whether they'll be with the Eagles next year. I'm sure we'll hear some news on that early this week.
Well, I've got to say about the Northern Eagles, I'll be certainly looking forward to getting good value out of their sets of 6. That has been their downfall over the last few weeks, where they've dropped the ball unnecessarily early in their sets of 6. So certainly Peter Sharp will want to see them get a good set, and Brett Kamali using his fine kicking game to put it right down the Eels' territory.
Reeves, a dummy half.
Very good.
Comes to Walker, who gets the kick in. Not a bad one either. Sends Hodgson back into his own in goal. If it sits down, it'll be a great kick. Oh, it did as well. And Scott McLean got through, and he's claimed to try.
We'll see if Parramatta might have forced that ball, or in fact if the Eagles guy might have forced it for a try, please. Yes, please.
Fred Hodgson, of course, only needs to get a finger on the ball to have forced it here, but it took a long time getting to it. The kick couldn't have sat down any better for Ben Walker. It went very close to the touch in goal line and might have got a piece of the chalk.
That was my first reaction, Warren, was that his feet did go over the chalk. Great kick there by Ben Walker. You thought for all money that the ball was going to roll dead, and then all of a sudden Hodgson thinks about it. You see him there, he's got his legs over. It'll be a no try. Just interesting to see whether Hodgson has touched it first.
I tell you what though, Laurie, a great chase there by Scott McLean. That Eagles guy, as Steve Clark said, was Scott McLean. A great chase there, but you'll see his leg does go out, Laurie. Also is Hodgson's. No try at all.
Here it is again. No doubt about both of them being in touch when the ball, in fact, was touched.
Would you call that a line dropout?
You certainly would, Turvey. The rules were changed this year as far as putting the foot
question
over the in goal.
The question whether the Parramatta guy might have forced it or knocked the ball on.
Yep. Okay. The video referee this evening is Graham West, and well, there's no question as to the try. It is a no try, but it will be a question of being either a goal line dropout or perhaps even touched by McLean. It will be a goal line dropout, so it's been adjudged to have been touched by Hodgson while he was into touch in the in-goal area. And Brian Smith tonight will spend the entire game on the bench, and he has made a couple of changes as well to his trainers, so just looking at some plans in case there are changes to his squad as far as the off-field personnel during the finals. He will spend the entire game down on the sideline as opposed to being high in the grandstand with us tonight. Here's Menzies. He's just outside the Eels 20. They get a penalty early.
PJ.
Stephen Clark adamant that he wants the tacklers to get off the tackle player very quickly, obviously, tonight. And Kamali looking for instructions, perhaps, from the bench himself. Will hand it over to Ben Walker to try and put them in front.
Right. It was quite surprising that. I thought the Eagles were going to keep on the attack. The trainer did run out from the Northern Eagles. I'm sure that he signalled to Jeff Turvey take the 2 points. You can see there Menzies, strong start to the game. Loves lurking on that left-hand side of the ruck. I'm sure that PJ Marsh will have plenty of traffic coming his way tonight. Of course, last week he defended on the left-hand side of the field. This week he's been switched to the right-hand side.
I'm sure, Laurie, that both coaches will be sending out messages to the players that the referee, Steve Clark's pet rule for the night is laying on the man with the ball. So certainly there's 2 penalties now. Great opportunity for Ben Walker to put the Northern Eagles in front. It was a very vital game for the Northern Eagles to keep their dreams alive, hoping to break into that top 8.
Walker, of course, in pursuit of the single season scoring record held by Ivan Cleary, which was set back in 1998 when Cleary at that stage was with the Roosters. Last week, perfect day against the Raiders. 6 goals and a hat-trick of tries as well. He's hooked this one though off the boot. No doubt about it going dead though, so they will get the ball back, but it wasn't a clean strike at all from Walker. Quick dropout taken by the Eels as well, and it sends Reeves back inside his own 20 to retrieve it. They've done very well here. They are so well drilled, the Eels, on the small plays. Of course, last week we saw PJ Marsh with the short goal line dropout, which got them back possession.
Well, they might be well drilled, but so are the ball boys here at Parramatta Stadium. At that stage, they got the ball off him very quickly before the kick had actually gone over. It was going to be a quick restart regardless of what happened, whether it was from the 50 or from the 20.
Here's O'Mealy now. Menzies driven backwards just into Eels territory. Tuvey again appealing for a penalty here. Menzies, a slow play the ball. Walker comes through the hands of the Eagles as they head across the 40-metre line now with Phil Bailey playing it back to Tuvey. Here's Walker for the in goal again. It got past Brett Hodgson. They'll put him under all sorts of pressure, or was going to, and it stayed in the field, but it went over the dead ball line. And as you heard Stephen Clark say, Hodgson got no touch on it, much to the disappointment, as you could hear, of Jeff Tuvey. Violecki, as they work it down the blind side, runs at Walker, who's there with the help of Torrens. Ryan at dummy half. And another penalty to the Eels. Again.
Get him up.
Okay, well, that's the third penalty. Here we see the Northern Eagles holding down Andrew Ryan. That's the third tackle. So I do hope that Steve Clark is consistent right throughout this game.
Ryan, a short ball from Nathan Kalis, but just outside the Eagles' 10. Still no score here at Parramatta Stadium. That might be about to change. Taylor, ball for Ian Hindmarsh. Hit at that speed. Well taken front on, though, by Brett Kamali. Drew will come to Taylor. They're spread wide. Hodgson is there. Players outside him. He had Hindmarsh. That's Nathan Hindmarsh swimming up in support. The ball comes to Moody. Now back to Taylor once again. Thought about going right, changed his tack and came back to the left-hand side. A couple of tackles left in this set for them. Ryan looking for the line, went very close. Down low to stop him was Walker again. Drew. Flat long pass from Taylor to PJ Marsh. Tries to get on the outside of Kamali. He did so and off-floated to Luke Burt. That was the fifth tackle. Here's Taylor. They put it in the air. The crossfield chip bomb. Moody was up there. So was McLean. Oh, Hindmarsh had a shot but knocked it on.
The Eagles, then Parramatta. Knocked on by number 2 Eagles.
It was a great leap by Scott McLean. He certainly got very high. Unfortunately for him, he dropped the ball down. Hindmarsh couldn't pick the ball up. He would have scored a try. But that previous set of 6 was great work by the Eagles. Getting off their line, putting a lot of pressure on the Eagles.
You can come in and have a listen to this too. We're only about 5 or 6 minutes into the game. Let's not start this sort of stuff already. We will referee the game as...
Specifically said about leg grabbing.
Jeff, we will referee the game as we see it, all right? You let us do our job. Jeff, telling you, let's just back off, eh?
Yeah, just say what you said before.
Come on.
Well, we said it wouldn't be too long before Jeff Tuvey would be in a running battle with Stephen Clark, and it's only taken around about 7.5 or 8 minutes here tonight. Here they are again under all sorts of pressure. And Violecki, 5 metres out from the line. Moody, a dummy half. Listen to Nathan Hindmarsh. They're up very quickly in his face. Tuvey amongst them with O'Mealy and Trindle there also. Jason Kalis at first receiver. Taylor over the top. Burt with plenty of room to move. He doesn't need too much and he's in. Weaves his way to the try line to put the Eels in front. 4-0 over the Eagles it is.
It was just great play there by Jason Taylor, throwing the long ball. The Eagles playing a compressed defence, then sliding on the line. Then what happens is they chase. They realise they're caught for numbers. Then the spacing gets wider in between the defending players. See Hopewadi, King chasing backwards, and the hole back on the inside opened up. They couldn't cover in time.
Yeah, great foresight there by Jason Taylor. You'll see this long pass, but also equally good work by Luke Burt. Now, we know he's a great little winger. He is playing in the centre today, and I'm sure that Brian Smith will be very impressed with that. And Luke Burt basically entrenches his chances of maybe kicking that number 3 jersey.
9 tries in this 2001 premiership for Luke Burton. Very much a factor now in Brian Smith's 17-man rotation, or I suppose it's more something like a 22-man squad they have, with the likes, of course, of Vella and Buettner still on the sidelines. Wagon out as well tonight. They are so deep in talent, this Parramatta club. Taylor became the all-time leading point scorer a few weeks ago against the Cowboys. From wide out, hits this beautifully, just hooking back over the black dots. Great start from the halfback. Lovely pass to set up the try, and completes it as well with the conversion. It's 6-0.
It's totally unbelievable, Warren and Laurie, how Jason Taylor was basically almost on the scrap heap last year, and Brian Smith has thrown him a lifeline, and now he's very much the key part of the quest for the Parramatta Eels, chasing their premiership, which they have not won in 15 years.
Here's Ryan again, in the dummy half. And a few times tonight the ball was raked out by Jeff Tooby. Quite noticeable that Ryan has been in this left-hand side of the field, getting the dummy half and picking up some good metres from that position. You can see the hand there of Tuvey, no doubt about the rake out. And once again, his side under all sorts of pressure. Plenty of battle scars once again early in this game is the Eagles captain. Cut out ball, lovely pass for PJ Marsh. Back on the inside for Burt. Wrapped up from behind by Kamali. They're at the Eagles 20. They lead by 6. Ian Hindmarsh. They play it back to Brad Drew. Marsh this time at first receiver. Looked left, faked left, got it back to Kalis, who dropped it. Grasped in the tackle by Menzies.
20 greatest advantage.
It was kicked over the dead ball line, so no advantage for the Eagles, and they will get to restart it from the 20 as opposed to having to work it from a scrum.
Well, it's all Eels at the moment. There we see they've made a more number of errors, but they've had basically more possession. It's been all them. I thought the Northern Eagles have scrambled quite well in defence. But here's an opportunity now to get good use again out of their set of 6 and get it down using either Brett Kamali or Ben Walker with a fine kicking game.
O'Mealy with a good run. Takes it up to the Eagles' 40-metre line. Tuvey. Short side with Hopewadi. Standing, looking to offload, and now he's going to be frog-marched backwards. Put the ball away to Walker, though, and now Kamali. Phil Bailey has it. Torrens got past the defence of Violecki. Ball back on the inside to Reed, and then Menzies, who will have the pace to score for the Eagles. Donald was coming quickly to try and pick him up, but Menzies outpaced him. Brian Smith won't be happy about the miss on the left-hand side by Violecki. Torrens created the opening, and they finished it off in fine style.
Well, if they do have a weakness in their defensive line, it's when you go wide and string a few passes together. The Parramatta Eels, they like to slide. If you can get a runner hitting straight into the hole, you could get a one-on-one tackle. This time it was Albert Torrens going one-on-one with Violecki, stuck out the left hand. Then the support player of the Eagles. We talk about support players. This guy here, Stephen Menzies, for a forward, is certainly the best, if not the best, that's ever played the game in support and scoring tries.
Laurie, it's this fella here too. John Hopewadi was able to keep the ball alive. The Eels couldn't keep him down, and it just went through a number of hands. Kamali, and then Torrens cuts the defence there. They score the try. Stephen Menzies scores his customary almost a try a game, and Ben Walker converts it. It's 6 points all.
They are all locked up here at Parramatta. You would think after wrapping up the minor premiership, something of a danger game for them.
Make sure you stay back. I want you all back. I want you all back.
Stephen Clark making sure that there is no offside from the kickoff by the Eels. Luke Burt, to do the honours, with the biggest mound of sand you've ever seen. Not only can they use the witches' hats from the kickoff, looks like you're building a fairly sizable sandcastle out there on the 50-metre line. Here's Kamali. Gives it off to Trindle. Up with a solid tackle by Ryan. McLean. And it comes in to work it away from dummy half. He takes it outside the 20. Tuvey, once again, go to the left-hand side. Andrew King takes his turn. In fact, it was Greg Eberl. Tuvey to Kamali, back on the inside for Trindle. Another penalty to the Eagles. For exactly the same thing as we've seen the previous penalties awarded for.
Well, you think they'd learn. That's the 4th penalty for holding the man down. The Northern Eagles playing quite good football at the moment, getting good value out of their sets of 6.
Here's Kamali to Walker off the shoulder there of Greg Eberl. Turnover on the first tackle, deep on the attack. Oh, Hodgson for a moment there was almost away.
I think I just put the mock on them.
Well, if you're going to beat the form team in the competition, you certainly got to make the most of your sets of 6. That time there, turning the ball over, first tackle against the Parramatta Eels in good field position. You just can't afford to do that. You've got to be able to maintain and build pressure.
Nathan Kalis pushed away from the tackle there of Eberl. Another 5 or even 8 metres or so. Stop him just outside the Eagles 40. Here's Taylor at first receiver. Still past the defence himself. Ian Hindmarsh. Late inclusion in the side. Replacement for Daniel Wagon. Now Drew down the blind side, a short one at that. Oh, kicked by Luke Burt. What a pass that was. It's AFL suddenly. A stab pass to a support player. It might work out beautifully for them. They'll trap Walker in the end goal. Well, that's a stunning piece of play.
Well, I'm not quite sure whether he meant to do it or not, Luke Burt. Realising he had to put the foot to the ball. Just gone to PJ Marsh. That's a wonderful bit of play. And PJ Marsh, knowing it was last tackle, lovely sit up for him. And Ben Walker had nowhere to go.
I mean, the skills in the game these days, just remarkable what they can do. They spend so much time on little things. I'm not sure they actually rehearsed that play, but with the ability to be able to pull that off. And well, here they are again with a new set of 6. It's Kalis who'll play it. Drew. Cut out ball, bypassed PJ Marsh. Burt couldn't handle it. Knocked backwards. Still play on, I think you'll find. No, the initial knock on was from PJ Marsh.
They're really compressing their defensive line, the Northern Eagles, showing the Eels the outside. The Eels are looking to attack there at every opportunity. But it's been the support play of the Parramatta team, especially guys like Brett Hodgson, supporting up the middle of the field. The Eagles realise that that's been one of their successful plays this year. They've got to be tight around the middle of the ruck, so when they do offload and their runners are coming through, they've got the players there that can stop it.
Laurie, just to add to that too, Brian Smith won't be impressed. The Eels now have made a number of unforced errors, and as you know, you need the ball to score the tries. Great opportunity here for the Northern Eagles, 30 metres out from their own line.
That's one! Marcus straight!
Reeves has it. Possession so far fairly even. The Eels with a slight advantage there. Walker comes to Torrance. Step back on the inside of Ryan, but Violetti was up to the task this time.
Marcus, you got to be straight.
There you have it. Stephen Clark has pinged the Parramatta markers for not being square at the play of the ball. They weren't behind each other. They were side by side. And, well, Peter Sharp spoke about it before the game. And I know also, Laurie, that you are of the opinion they do get a little bit keen at times to get away from that position.
Well, sometimes they do. They split a bit too early. They like to push up nice and close to the attacking player, and then they split either side of the ruck.
Here's Kamali. On the short side they go with Bailey. He'll play it there. Kamali. Lovely pass to Walker. Equally good one to Menz. He's back on the inside from King to Reeves, but it was forward. Forward pass. Reeves isn't happy about it. It's a lovely movement.
They've got some good plays when they go wide, the Eagles, and the key is the runner hitting the hole, getting a one-on-one tackle with the Eels player. When you get a one-on-one tackle, you've got the ability to either break the tackle or offload. So therefore your support play's got to be great. Brendan Reeves has certainly picked that up out of his game in the last couple of seasons. He's supporting the ball carrier a lot more.
Just to add to that too, Laurie, I think the Northern Eagles have punctured the Parramatta Eels defence out wide a number of times. They've done it very well. They really are playing with a purpose tonight. 2 points out of the top 8. A win tonight is absolutely a must game, a must win rather for the Northern Eagles.
Here's Kalis. Jason, that is, playing it back. Brother Nathan takes his turn to hit up. Taylor. Touch. The charge down. We play on. All the Parramatta players onside. Able to get up quickly enough to put some pressure on McLean, and he's tackled 15 metres on his own side of halfway as Kamali feeds it to Hopewadi with Menzies outside him. And Luke Burt did well, a much bigger man, to force him sideways and got some help from Donald. Hopewadi picked off quickly from Mark, and you could hear the Eagles players appealing to Stephen Clark, saying the markers once again weren't square. Here's Everill, wrapped up in a strong tackle by Ian Hindmarsh. Kamali. Short pass for Walker, strong tackle, Drew. Also there was Nathan Hindmarsh, who's in a bit of a wrestling match at the moment with Walker. Hodgson under the high ball, took it comfortably, then step straight past Kamali. He's got support, didn't need it at the moment, still going. They come to him again and Reeves wraps him up and Menzies barrels over the top of them. Great run from Hodgson. What a return from the kick.
That was a great take there by the fullback, Brett Hodgson. He really has played well for the Eels since coming across from Western Suburbs. He's like a little jackrabbit jumping over everywhere. The Northern Eagles finding it hard to nail him and put him down on the ground.
Nathan Hindmarsh. Just inside the Eagles 30. 4 tackles gone in this set of 6. Nathan Kalis to Taylor. Not very quickly on the outside, the Eagles defence. They forced them back down the middle of the park. Here's Solomona just fending away from Tuvey almost too easily. Drew. He puts the bomb up this time. Floating into the in goal. Hopewadi just backpedaling. Took it comfortably in the end. And they'll tap it from the 20. Steve Clark just once again stopping the Eagles from getting the quick tap away, but at the other end of the field, when there was the 20-metre dropout, there was nothing to stop the Parramatta Eels from getting the kick in as quickly as they liked, and once once again a little bit of inconsistency between the referees as far as applying that rule with a 20-metre restart.
The inconsistencies, that's why the players get frustrated when it's happening for one team and not the other. We saw in the first 15 or 10 minutes of the game, the Parramatta were allowed to take the quick tap. And that time looked a bit high, that tackle earlier by Kalis and Morley.
On the shoulder, according to Stephen Clark, for Morley, very dusty getting back to his feet. In fact, hasn't made it back to his feet yet.
Shoulder. 4. That was 4.
Steve Clark adamant the tackle was on or around the shoulder. We'll take a look at it on this angle here.
I'll keep talking
around the neck region, if you like.
I also think the impact, Brett Kamali, certainly the tackle was high, but the impact of the other Eels forward bent him backwards. And I think he's just sitting down having a rest. I think he'll get on and play.
Yeah, sure.
But he's played well, Brett Kamali.
You keep your marker straight.
Well, I'm sure after what happened last night, John Lang and the Sharks would be very interested observers watching that particular piece of play there.
That was 4.
There's been a couple of occasions in recent times. Both incidents, in fact, involving the Sharks. 1 for and 1 against. And the video referee has been a factor in pulling play back after the fact. Penalties were awarded on both occasions. Last night's one, a very big one. Here's Hodgson again, having trouble picking the ball up initially, but watch him work now. Here he is, stepping past O'Mealy, running down the middle of the park again. Oh, what a season he's having.
Well, the key to your kick chase is going down in numbers, but also going down so you can change direction if the fullback tries to step. That time the Eagles, they rushed down. It was the ability and the footwork of Hodgson to change direction. It was the speed of the Manly defensive line that put them off. He just went bang off his right and left him in his wake.
Taylor Kicking over the top again. Reeves is playing fairly shallow to the line. He'll go back to his own in goal. Here comes Marsh. He got past him. Can't escape Donald's grasp. And they'll get the ball back from another good piece of play.
And there you see exactly the contrast.
John, don't ignore me. John Hapawani, out here, please.
Great
John,
kick there by Jason Taylor. And a great chase by the Parramatta Eels. Pulling Brendan Reeves under pressure.
John.
But the biggest difference is they go up on the line. There's nowhere for Brendan Reeves to get out of there.
Listen, make sure you get standing up and look at me. Look at me. John. Come on, Jeff. I'm trying to get through to this guy and he's just absolutely treating me with contempt. He's not back to 10. The touch just listen. The touch he's been talking to him for ages, but he's got to get back. The touch he tried to talk him over here and I just tried to call him out and he just wants to ignore us. It doesn't do him any good, mate. Get into his ear.
Well, there is a solution, of course. The sin bin, which has basically been rubbed out of the playbook for the referees in recent times. And Stephen Clark has that option open to him. The Eagles in front of the goal line dropout. Here comes Nathan Kalis. Running at them. Good tackle made by Ebrel. Solomona. Wayne Evans out there in 15 now off the bench for the Eagles. Drew comes to Taylor, to Andrew Ryan. Just inside the Eagles 20. Drew going from dummy half, running, creating a space for Hodgson, who weaves his way to the line. What a 5-minute spell he's had.
This way. Westy, can you just check for possible obstruction there, please?
We'll take a look at this. I must admit I didn't see it first time around when the action was live, but Stephen Clark wants to refer the matter to Graham West. Here's Drew. Solomona on the outside running the decoy. He's no factor. There's Hodgson. And then coming up in support, Nathan Kalis may have hindered Jeff Tuvey, who was going to have some sort of shot on Brett Hodgson. We've seen a number of these. We highlighted them during the week, Laurie, and here's another one.
Well, we did on Wednesday night on the show. He looks as though he's made contact there with Jeff Tuvey. I've got to say, before they went to the video referee, I thought it looked okay. I still think it looks okay, but from what I've seen in games so far this season, I think this might pull up.
This angle will tell us if Kalis actually does block Jeff Tuvey from making a tackle. I think he does, actually, from that angle there.
I think you're right. I think it should be the red letters of the no try.
Okay. That was about the 10-metre line, wasn't it?
Stephen Clark waiting for a decision.
Should be a penalty, I think.
We are. It should be a penalty.
To the Northern Eagles. I think you'll see that.
There it is, no try. And the Eagles will get possession. So Brett Hodgson hasn't scored the go-ahead try. It remains 6 points each with 16 left in this first half. Rather ironic, that piece of play, the decision to rule the no try, because in the corresponding game in round 12 at Brookvale, when the Eels had the game wrapped up, the Eagles scored a try from a very similar piece of play, and Brian Smith was vehement in his condemnation for the decision to allow the try to stand off an obstruction. And the Eels, in the return game here at Parramatta tonight, had a try denied to them. Here's Kamora, turning it back on the inside to Ebrel.
I've got to say, Warren, I'm very impressed with the Northern Eagles. They're cool, calm and collected. They're slowing the game down to their own pace. Brett Kamori's certainly taken on the line. He's lost the ball though.
Locked on Brett Kamori.
Went forward off the Eagles. Kamori isn't happy. Sure, he thinks there was a hand in there which contributed to him losing it. Solomona there makes the tackle. Well, it was a one-on-one tackle, and he's saying, I'm sure, that the ball went backwards.
The ball, yeah, I thought the ball did go backwards there, but you just see when the Eagles hit the edge of the Parramatta defensive line, you've got guys hitting holes, and then you're showing the ball, you throw a dummy, it just gives you the one-on-one opportunity with a defensive player.
That's one!
If you've got support player there, if they don't tackle you or don't cover the ball up, you can get some good second phase happening, getting behind the Parramatta defensive line.
Taylor put under all sorts of pressure there by PJ Marsh. And Solomona picked up and dumped in a good tackle by Tuvey. Strong defence from both sides tonight. Sign the Eagles cracking in the last 10 or so minutes. Just one try each at this stage. Nathan Kalis. Solid contact once again into the chest there of Brett Kamali. Taylor. They're on. Kicks from just outside the Eagles 40. Another well-weighted kick. Reeves his own in goal to field it and then slipped as he came to Luke Burt.
What I was just saying about the Northern Eagles, Warren, is they're slowing basically the game down to their own pace. They're stopping or slowing the momentum of the younger Parramatta Eels. And Brett Kamali, I've been very impressed with his game. He's taken them on the line, but also his defence has been high work rate.
Here they come again now. Evans getting a pass away to Hopewadi. Fast play the ball as well. It's Tuvey onto Kamali. Walker outside him. Pushes away from Nathan Hindmarsh's tackle. Still going. Comes to him eventually from Ebrel. Comes back to Hopewadi. Tuvey. Kamali. His spiral pass on the outside to Phil Bailey. Taken down low by Jason Taylor. The last tackle. Here's the bomb. The outside of the foot from Kamali. Hodgson didn't get a clean shot at it. It bounces up for Brendan Reeves. 6 more tackles for the Eagles. They're just outside the Parramatta 10. Great chance to hit the lead for the visitors. Here's Ebrel showing it to Kamali. To Bailey. To the gap there between Taylor and Violecki. Forcing backwards. He's only 5 or 6 metres away from the line. Here's Kamali against any very wide at first receiver. Walker and Menzies now. Ian Hindmarsh stops him. Slow play the ball. That could have been a penalty. He wants to play the advantage, I'm sure, and keep the Eagles on the attack here. Here's O'Mealy running at Ryan. They stop him once again. Just inside the Eels 10. Tuvey. Ball pass. Walker had to reach behind him. Good kick into the end goal, and Luke Burt had to come from wide out to clean up for the Eels. 6 more tackles coming up.
Well, it was a great kick there by Ben Walker. They're certainly playing as well as I've seen so far this year, the Northern Eagles. Defensively, they've been very solid, and when they are attacking the Eels' edge of ruck, they are looking quite dangerous. They're getting a lot of one-on-one opportunities. If their support play picks up, they might be able to put a try on the board.
Drew drilling it low, looking for the sideline from the goal line dropout. Beautifully handled by Andrew King. It was intentional. He was looking to hit the touchline and get the ball back in the scrum win. Walker will play it. Ebrel. A short ball away to Tony Jensen. It's his first touch of the game. Still just metres away. Tuvey to Walker. Kamali playing outside him. Second man play. Reeves now. Taylor there once again. That crisis between himself and also Nathan Hindmarsh. Torrance comes to Kamali. Flat pass, knocked backwards. Play on. Here's Kamali stepping. What a freakish try. The ball went backwards off the runner who was coming back on the angle. Straight into the arms of Kamali. He puts them in front. It's 10-6.
Well, there was a bit of luck involved here in this try, but it come about by building pressure, the Northern Eagles. They're very happy. We spoke about their ability to keep the ball alive. Brad Drew, not the man you'd expect to be taking the dropouts for the Eels. Jason Taylor still on the field, but Kamali. Jensen hitting the hole. The ball bounces straight back into the arms of Kamali. You see the Eels, they fall for the dummy. And that time Kamali was able to go over and score a good try.
Was a little bit of luck there, but sometimes you make your own luck, Laurie, and Brett Kamali dumbing to the left side there, scores it under the post. He's played some good football tonight. Very composed performance by the Northern Eagles tonight. They really are stepping up the mark against the Parramatta Eels.
Because they play the slide defence, they really rely on a lot of one-on-one tackles, the Parramatta team. They've got trust in one another. They've got the communicating skills that know which player you got. But if your runner is running hard, there's always a chance that you can get a quick play the ball from a one-on-one tackle, that ability to play second phase.
Walker from right in front gives the Eagles a 6-point lead. We've got 9 minutes before the break. It is the Northern Eagles 12, leading the Parramatta Eels 6. Well, they've got it all to play for, of course, in their final 2 games of the season. They need to win them both and then rely on the Roosters, the Warriors, you would think, losing. And, well, everything that's gone on this week, the ensuing months, I suppose, at the Northern Eagles with the dissolving of the joint venture and, well, the Manly Club taking over this week and they're looking for guarantees of contracts. I mean, they could have come out tonight and really just gone around pretty much and been beaten by 30 or 40, but they have aimed up.
It's funny, Warren, sometimes when adversity happens off the field, it seems to gel and makes the guys a lot stronger, with more purpose. But I've got to say, I've done a few Northern Eagles games this year, and this is the best start to any game that I've seen them do. I saw the last game at Brookvale Oval when Parramatta Eels played the Northern Eagles. It was just a matter of how much by the Eels, but they really are standing up to the Eels and are in full control at the moment, leading 12 points to 6.
Jensen tackled just short of the halfway line. Here's Kamali. Long and low. Moody it is who goes back to clean up for the Eels. Taylor shifting it wide to Violecki. Real eagerness about this defence tonight from the Eagles. Vigour in their work. Tuvey. The deck again to his feet to play. It was Daniel Irvine. Stephen Clark certainly giving both sides a little more leniency now. A spate of penalties for holding down in the first 5 minutes. Sean Robinson out there for the Eels. Brian Smith works the changes on his bench. PJ Marsh, this kick off the side of the boot. He wasn't happy with his kicking game last week against the West Tigers. He hardened himself after the game, in fact, that facet of his game. And Taylor back in the side tonight certainly adds a lot to Parramatta's kicking game. Marsh on that occasion coming up with a mistake.
Well, obviously they're trying to alleviate some of the pressure on Jason Taylor by taking a bit of kicking responsibility away from him. We saw earlier there on the dropout, Brad Drew took it, 5th tackle. PJ Marsh looking to kick the ball. There's a big hit there by Solomona. Solomona is down. He has gone down. He is injured.
Jensen back to his feet. He's okay, but Solomona went straight to the ground, and well, it would be no surprise to see he might have either dislocated his shoulder or perhaps done a rotator cuff. We'll find out, but he is in big trouble back down the field. The Eagles are just metres away from the Eels line. It comes from Torrens to Walker to Morley now. They've got them stretched. He rolls it into the end goal, getting there quickly with a play, and it was Brendan Reeves.
Off the Eagles out to the 20.
It was knocked dead by Brendan Reeves. In fact, and the Eels will have it from their own 20.
I thought he was extremely unlucky there, Brendan Reeves. I thought the Parramatta fella knocked it out.
Take a look at it again. Here's the hit from Solomona there. He went straight to his arm. In fact, he might have even perhaps damaged a forearm or a wrist in that piece of play. Here's a look at it again. Burt was in there with a shot at it, as was Reeves. Close run thing between the two of them, but the Eels have it nonetheless. Ball out the back. And then Hindmarsh trying to keep it alive. Luckily they didn't turn it over. Solomona, perhaps he might have been just a little bit winded by that impact. Straight to the bench he goes. Here's Irvine. Now working the plays from dummy half. Violecki, free running on the outside of Torrens, got away from him. Pushed away from Walker as well. He won't be able to pick him up. Great piece of play from Violecki.
Well, it's a great show of strength there by David Violecki. We mentioned how the Eagles are playing compressed defensive line, and when they go wide, Albert Torrens there just got pushed off by a strong running David Violecki. The Eels have had no success up the middle of the park tonight. This time they're looking to go wide. Violecki straight through the Albert Torrens tackle. Ben Walker comes across and gets fended away. That's a great individual try there by Violecki.
Well, a very important try for the Eels. Great ball again by Jason Taylor. He's had a pretty good game. Violecki just throws off Torrens, palms off Walker, scores the try. and sometimes a good big man will always beat a good little man. And Torrance basically trying to stop the ball there, should have gone low and hit him hard around the legs.
He is quite the athlete, David Violecki. What a year he's had as well. He's the player in this side, obviously, in anything but terrific form. He was going to be a real factor in the finals on one side of the field, and then with Jamie Lyon also yet to appear tonight on the bench. May in fact get the night off entirely, as Brett Hodgson did last week. Taylor again from wide out, hooking back. He's a machine. And he just keeps putting them from everywhere. 12 plays 12 with a couple of minutes left here at Parramatta Stadium in the first half.
Well, what a great goal kick by Jason Taylor, the leading point scorer in the history of the game now. And hasn't he fell on his feet here at Parramatta wearing the number 7 jersey in the year 2001.
Another super kick from the super boot himself. The Castles are crumbling. Walker looking for this big mound.
Sorry, well, you notice how they put the ball nice and high, similar to what they do in American football. They like to kick the ball nice and high, get a lot of distance, and it allows the Northern Eagles to get up there and tackle them closer to their own line.
Looking for that hang time is Kalis. Jason, it is bringing it back out from the in-goal area. Trindle comes back into the game. Trindle gets a break for the moment for the Eagles. Robinson away to Taylor. His footing as he tried to change direction. Way between his own 20 and 30 metre line. Ian Hindmarsh can Morley up very quickly with the help there of Menzies. Irvine. Dummy half. Last play of the ball. Morley got tangled up amongst it all. Steve Clark says play on. It is the last tackle. They get the kick away eventually. It was Ian Hindmarsh who had to put it in. Hopewadi got to it just in time.
Well, that was a good call by Stephen Clark. He could have given a penalty and he said no, well, let's play it on, and I agree with him. A good decision there by the referee.
For Morley. Ball back on the inside. But Trindle stopped him stone dead. Robinson was there with the help also of Jason Kalis. Another turnover here by the Eagles. Once again in good position. They did it on the first tackle a little while ago. Tubi isn't happy. Let's take a look at it. So it's hard to say on that angle. It didn't look, I must admit, when the play was live as though the ball was forward. Unless the camera is right in line with it, you can, in fact, you almost need the camera moving at the same speed as the play itself to be able to rule on forward passes. Here's Violecki again, proving to be still a handful for the Eagles. Nathan Hindmarsh. Barreling run, picks up 15 metres. It's a fast play, the ball away as well. Andrew Ryan again from dummy half. Comes to Walker, who stops him. There's only Reeves left as far as defence for the Eagles. Here's Taylor. Oh, taking a strong tackle around the shoulders by Ben Walker. Another fast play of the ball. Irvine shovels it to PJ Marsh, to Ryan, who reaches out and gets there. A couple of tries in quick succession for the home team, and they've hit the lead again. 16 points to 12.
Well, it all came about by the forward pass from Tubi to Ben Walker, giving the Eels the opportunity before half-time. They were going to finish with the last set of 6. The inside ball from PJ Marsh. The defenders got a bit tired, and Andrew Ryan, second attempt, elbow didn't hit the ground, was able to outstretch and get the ball over and give his side the lead going into half-time.
Well, he's a big, robust type person, Andrew Ryan, but again, that try came from a self-inflicted wound by the Northern Eagles. Jeff Tubi throwing that forward pass a minute to go, and a champion side like the Eels can absolutely punish you, and they've just done that with a 4-pointer, and the way that Jason Taylor's kicking at the moment, I would not be surprised if he turns it into a 6 points.
He's just inside the 20. Ryan set it all up, of course, with his run from dummy half. He was tackled by Walker, and then a couple of tackles later finishes the movement off. 93% success rate for Taylor in 2001 with the boot. A couple of super kicks from wide out. This one from a much simpler position. Well, can you believe it? You talk about his great kicks from the sideline. He gets a rather simple one by his standards and hooks it. It's one of his poorest strikes of the season. But at half-time, it is the Eels who lead the Eagles 16 points to 12. A very competitive half of football. The Eagles, for the most part, being very good with some strong defence, but a couple of tries in the lead-up to half-time from the Eels. Jeff Turvey, of course, still having his battles out there with Stephen Clark. And, well, 5 tries in total to take a look at half-time. We'll take a break and come back after this with more from Parramatta Stadium.
Well, they got their biggest 40 minutes of the season coming up now, the Northern Eagles. This is do or die. They will be out of the running if they lose here tonight. They've got 40 minutes, and I'm sure Jeff Turvey will be giving it his all. He would have fired the players up at half-time. They'd realise the importance of the occasion. They competed very well against the Eels in that first half, but they've got to do more of it in the second.
Time blown back on by Stephen Clark. A very long kick-off. Morley goes within an ace. Putting his foot on the dead ball line. Pretty close run thing, that. Here's O'Mealy. Stopped at the advantage line by Irvine. Jason Kalis and Andrew Ryan there as well. Kamali. Menzies. Good work out wide on that left-hand side in the first half. Was Bailey. Leading it to Trindle. Had the arm up very high there as Nathan Hindmarsh came to him. Here's Turvey going from dummy half. O'Mealy it is. He'll play it on the last tackle. Morley. Donald on the full, just inside his own 20. Hodgson with him. What a first half he had. It was going to be heralded, of course, by the try, which was eventually a no try.
Well, John Hopewadi undoing all that good kick and chase there by the Northern Eagles. Up in a straight line for them there. He's already down on the ground. John Hopewadi comes down unnecessarily, and it gives the Eels the opportunity to get back into the Northern Eagles half.
As we heard Stephen Clark say in that first half, Hopewadi really tested his patience, continually standing in front of him, although he didn't award a penalty for being up inside the 10. Ryan again coming from dummy half. Irvine. As Nathan Hindmarsh on his left-hand side is wrapped up by Trindle, just outside the Eagles 20. Looking for a quick start to the second half, the home side. Irvine will play it back to Hodgson. PJ Marsh has Taylor outside him. He cuts back to the left-hand side now. Floats across the face of them. A chance on this left-hand side, or there was going to be a chance. Pass wasn't a good one to Violecki. Around the bootlaces, and he put it down.
Well, we saw how many tackles Albert Torrens and Ben Walker completed in that first half. The second half is any indication. That's where Parramatta are going to direct all their traffic in the second half. Really working over the Eagles on the right-hand side.
Down.
Here's Torrens from the scrum win. Menzies. Up to just inside the 30. Plenty of changes left for both sides. 4 replacements. Both the Eagles and the Eels in that first half were made on. Hopewadi has been forced over the touchline. His second mistake in a matter of minutes, and he's putting his side under all sorts of pressure.
Well, John Hopewadi taking on 3. Parramatta defender Scott Donald doing a great job to pull Hopewadi over the line. It gives the Eels the opportunity now to get the ball, and it puts the Northern Eagles under pressure.
When you run down a short side, you've got to make sure you got the right body position. That time, Hopewadi was too upright. He should have realised that he was too close to the sideline to stay upright. He should have bent down. His gravity towards the buoy.
Hindmarsh keeping it alive as it comes back to Violecki. Tangled up with Palings, trying to get back to his feet. Robinson just outside the 20. 3 tackles left in this set as Irvine gives it to Taylor, standing close, first receiver. Flat pass to Jason Kalis, who tried to pass it back to Taylor. It was knocked on.
Off Mark, no. Off Mark O'Mealy's hand. No, off Mark O'Mealy's hand. No, he wasn't even in it. He was out here trying to pick it up. What was there? Parramatta feed loose. It was off Mark O'Mealy's hand.
The Eagles are incredulous here with this decision from Stephen Clark. There he is, trying to get the ball away. And there it is going down. But I'm sure the ball went forward from Jason Kalis, I would have thought.
I think the Eagles were hard done there on that occasion.
There's PJ Marsh giving it off to Hodgson. 6 more tackles for the Eagles to hold them out. Another contentious one. Marsh going quickly from dummy half. Strong defence from Tooby. Stopped him in his tracks and gives him one to go on with as well. Rattle the youngster perhaps. Here's Jason Kalis. Good hard run towards the post. Jensen met him. Back to the left-hand side they go. Irvine cuts out Taylor. Ryan standing, offloading back to Irvine. Violecki from the flat start. Some good fends again. O'Mealy stopped him. He's forced it loose, and the Eagles will say that's justice. Jensen it is who has it for them. Pass play the ball just outside their own 20. Reeves offload to O'Mealy. Defence has been very good tonight, the Eagles, apart from a couple of small lapses. A couple of tries towards the end of the first half. They've been solid.
Yes, the defence has been great by the Northern Eagles, but what Brian Smith...
Marcus, you got to keep them straight.
And again, the Parramatta markers penalised for not standing directly behind each other. Here it is again, side by side. One going right, one going left. Stephen Clark penalises both Chad Robinson and Andrew Ryan.
And that's a fair penalty there. What I was saying before, like the Eels did in the first 10 minutes of the first half, and the start of this second half, they've got up close to the Northern Eagles line and dropped the ball. That won't impress Brian Smith.
He will play it for the Eagles. 35 out from the Eagles line. Down the short side, Walker switches it back to the open. To dummy half. The advantage line, some good hands from Kamali as well. Lovely tackle though on Trindle. It's Tooby going from dummy half again. They were waiting for the pass and they almost dropped off him. Kamali grubbering, looking for the post. He got the deflection, but there to clean up was Daniel Irvine for the Eels.
That was a dead set try if it didn't hit as he's lost the ball.
Lost it.
They've cost it up. Nathan Hindmarsh has made the mistake.
I thought he hit your arm. And you lost it. I don't think he played at the ball and knocked it out.
On this kick, if this ball does not hit the upright, the goal post, Ben Walker is in to score. It's been a trend in the last couple of weeks for the Parramatta side. Second half, they've started poorly. They've turned a few balls over. Defensively, they haven't come out as aggressive as they did in the first half.
Keep your head in lock. Keep it in, Steve.
We saw the Tigers, in fact, in that game last week, score early on to give themselves a chance in the game. Here's Walker, almost to the line. Hodgson came up quickly, didn't make the tackle. Good strong tackle from PJ Marsh on Hopewadi, who tried his luck. O'Mealy does the same thing, and again it's Marsh who stops him. King, bad pass. Walker wasn't expecting it. Cost them a tackle and some metres as well. Here's Walker feeding Kamali. Jensen juggled it. Got it back to Reeves. Set upon him in a hurry. 5 tackles have gone. Been too much from them in this set of 6. Kamali with the crossfield kick. Hopewadi is there. Didn't get a play at it. Here's Walker. Still the last tackle. Had to put the kick in. And Walker, in his haste to get the kick away, barreled one of our technicians across the touchline himself and then said, sorry mate, I didn't mean to do that.
Well, here we see Ben Walker trying to keep the ball alive. It goes too far. Knocks it over one of the Fox Sports. Come in and Apologies to laughing at our fellow team member down there on the sideline. But the Northern Eagles didn't look organised in that set of 6 there. They just sort of ad-libbing, and great defence by the Parramatta Eels. That's why they've got the best defence in the league, and that was excellent effort by the Parramatta Eels.
Going quickly, Luke Burt went at them. He stopped him at the defensive line in a hurry. Here's Nathan Kalis. Fell to the ground as he got to the advantage line, looking for a fast play the ball. Here's Jason Taylor. Pass goes past Nathan Hindmarsh. Violecki puts the kick in, and now Reeves, like Hodgson did in the first half, having trouble fielding it cleanly at that end of the field. He's hurt as well, Reeves. Got a good game so far for the Eagles. They can't afford to lose him. Steve Clark wants Albert Torrens to get the ball and play it. Here it is again. Came through at speed on him. Maybe just the weight there of Jason Moody. Give him a knock to the back of the ribs.
Yep, go! You're right, up you go.
Play back on. O'Mealy. Big gain of 12 metres, looking it away from his own line. Here's Hopewadi. Cumbersome play the ball for Morley. Second man play, Walker. The line was Phil Bailey, fairly front when he got the pass, hitting it at the angle. Now Reeves from dummy half. Look at Morley, he didn't have too many options. It comes back to Reeves. Well, he threw a desperation pass, played out by the Eels. And they get 6 more tackles, the Eagles. Here's Jensen. Nathan Kalis up to meet him. Physical game tonight, as it was last week between the Eels and the Tigers here at Parramatta. Walker turning it back for Bailey.
I've got to say, Warren, I don't know why the Northern Eagles are going close to the ruck there. That's where the Parramatta Eels compress their defence. And Walker and also Kamali have got a great long pass. They should be really trying to assault just wide of that ruck. They've had some luck there in the first half. They should be doing the same thing in the second half.
Here they go now, wide to the left-hand side. Menzies comes back to O'Mealy. Stop by Nathan Hindmarsh with the help of Jason Kalis. Walker. Pass over the head there of Torrens. He puts it on the toe. Held out of it by Violecki. It may not matter. Here's McLean, who didn't get there, I don't think.
Steve, can you have a look at a couple of things? When he's kicked it, make sure that chaser, the second guy was onside, and then just check to see whether he's grounded it in or over the dead ball line. Hang on, hold him back. We're checking everything.
Jeff Toothey also wants Stephen Clark and video referee Graham West to take a look at David Violecki, perhaps holding back here in the chase. Torrens got the kick in, and Violecki was in close contact with him. This next kick is the doubt about the on or offside, or McLean is onside there. It's the toe onto it again. Now this, there's nothing in it between the dead ball line and the put down. I think he put it down right on the line.
That's close. That is very close. Is he pulled back there? Perhaps I think there's a chance that he might have been pulled back there, fellas. But great work here by McLean too. Does he ground the ball inside the line? This will tell us. Outside. Mine.
On the dead ball line.
It's a great effort though by McLean and also Torrens to be able to show their kicking skills. Oh, that angle there.
It's a try from that angle, Laurie.
Oh, hang on a second, Turv. You're kidding, aren't you? Here we go. The ball's on the dead ball line for all the money in the world. You can't see from that angle there because of the curve of the field itself, higher in the middle than it is on the sides, and you can't see from that angle. That's deceptive, that one.
Now the video referee's also looking to see if David Violecki has held back Albert Torrens as well.
On the dead ball line. And this one here is conclusive, I thought. Graham West wants another look at it just to make sure.
Well, what do you reckon, Laurie Daly, in regards to the holding?
I didn't think there was too much in it, Turvey. I think you'll see a no try.
There'll be no try, but will there be a penalty?
Here it is, no try, and it will be a 20-metre restart. Unlucky for Scott McLean, great effort. And the little touch of the boot was almost perfect. Ryan Smith and knowing raise of the eyebrows. The decision goes to his side. Kalis plays it back to Irvine. Just past Nathan Kalis to Nathan Hindmarsh. Now a penalty for the infringement in the play the ball. The problem is, of course, that one's been pulled up by Stephen Clark, and well, I suppose he had no option there. Walker gave him no choice but to play the penalty on that occasion. Certainly made contact with the arm. Irvine at the Eagles 30. Here come the Eels. Nathan Kalis. They look to extend this 4-point lead. And maybe just 28 minutes left in the Northern Eagles season as far as being finals contenders. Jason Kalis put it off to PJ Marsh. 15 out. They go quickly from dummy half again. It's Andrew Ryan with the fend. Oh, he got there. What a player. What a try. Again, working from dummy half. That has been the theme of his night. And he's put the mate in front.
Well, just a great individual effort there by Andrew Ryan. He played State of Origin this season. I suppose it was a surprise choice, but he has played like this all season. Getting the ball from dummy half, shrugging off Kamali. Kamali goes on his back, and then it's just strength and determination. That's what gets him over the line. That's 2 tries tonight.
Yes, Laurie, a former country boy from the Dubbo Sims up there in the Western New South Wales. Brian Smith brought him down. Quick play the ball there, fends off Kamali. He's big, he's strong, he's robust. Has come through Jersey Flegg. Also played a little bit of Metropolitan Cup with the Kellyville Bushrangers, but certainly has found his mark here in the first grade Parramatta Eels side who are leading this premiership.
A double tonight, 7 for the year for Ryan. And Taylor has this from just outside the 20 to put them 10 in front. Through the court processes, make sure he's ready to go. And this one, as you would expect, comes back just inside the right-hand upright. 22 points to 12 is the scoreline. We've got 26 left here at Parramatta.
They've just lacked a bit of discipline in the second half. The Eagles, they've given away cheap penalties, turned the ball over cheaply. The Parramatta side, it's been a trend over the last month or two, is their inability to start great in that second half. They make a lot of mistakes. They let the opposition get a snip, but the teams just haven't been able to go on with it. I'm sure that'll be a concern by Brian Smith.
The restart, a long one. Comes down to Nathan Kalis. Met by Menzies. A strong tackle. Front on stuff from Menzies. Here he is again, stopping Scott Donald. With all the aggression they can muster now, the Eagles trail by 10, 25 left. They need to take a few chances in attack. Ian Hindmarsh. It's time to get to his feet and play it. Jason Kalis. He goes up to just inside the 40. Moody. Hasn't seen too much of the ball tonight. Brad Drew back out there, replacing Irvine. Kick as well from dummy half over the head of Reeves. A bit of touch on it. Just in some metres. Brings it back, and Drew is there to make the tackle as well.
I've got to say, Warren, there is 25 minutes left. There's still plenty of time to play some positive attacking football by the Northern Eagles. They don't need to panic at this stage. They are 10 points behind, but where they are losing the battle at the moment is the play the ball area. The Eels' defence has been absolutely superb, slowing the play the ball down, and the Eagles have got to get a roll on, a quick play the ball, and get it up the other end.
There's O'Mealy playing it. Walker to Menzies. Nathan Hindmarsh makes the tackle. Here's Ian Hindmarsh's brother back on the bench. He didn't look too good when he got back to his feet after that heavy tackle, and straight back there being checked out. Westy. Stephen Menzies in a little bit of trouble as well now. Holding a rib perhaps. Hindmarsh in there with Jason Taylor. And you can hear Stephen Clark in the background asking Graham West to take a look at it.
No, what about
the video replay?
He just lost it.
To see if there was anything untoward in the tackle or how the ball in fact was lost. A graphic example there of the referee getting some advice from the video referee.
Well, I thought he was tackled. I thought he lost it purely because he was hurt. He let go of the ball.
Came from the monitor upstairs, mate. Clear as crystal. Came from the monitor upstairs. Clear as crystal. Came from the monitor upstairs, mate. Clear as crystal.
There were three Eels players, two.
Not
Taylor,
quite as many players as you blokes have got.
and Hindmarsh there at the meeting, and also Ryan. But he's clearly on the ground there. We can't see from the angle, but he does lose the ball, and I think he's injured. That's why he, in fact, has let go of that ball.
Menzies, who's been very good for the Eagles tonight, will go from the field. Moved off by the trainer Rob Stevens now. Popawati also is back on the bench. Trouble for the Eagles in a number of ways here. And now, of course, with
Come on, boys, we're going to go in.
Menzies going from the field, the Eagles will be a man short because the interchange can't be made after a scrum has been called. The exact same play that caught the Melbourne Storm out against the Roosters a couple of weeks ago. We're back to the full complement now as the Eagles make their 7th replacement. Solomona, Parramatta fans will be happy to see him back out there. Still gets the offload away. That's incredible. It was after the tackle was called, though, by Stephen Clark.
I thought it was simultaneous, Warren.
As soon as he hit the deck, I called it. As soon as he hit the deck, that's right. As soon as he hit the deck, I called it.
Just as he called Hill.
Well, is it a scrum or should it be a penalty?
I think
boys.
the time, it was simultaneous, I think. That's what's happened. As soon as he's called Hill, he went to throw the football.
You know, with the crowd sort of roaring in the background, of course, and the players themselves, at times the players aren't going to hear the referee, and if it is simultaneous, then why not make it play on?
Steve Menzies there, looks like ribs. Northern Eagles drop the ball again.
And here's the danger man with it in his hands, Hodgson. Picked up and wrapped up by Scott Petherbridge. Solomona certainly won't die with it. In fact, he does for one of the rare times this season. He's back to Drew. Nathan Kalis, midfield. Goes to brother Jason through the hands of Marsh. Picked up by Violecki. Goes back to Nathan Hindmarsh. Looking for the knockout blow here perhaps, and Violecki will get it. Again, too strong for them. And he makes it 26 points to 12.
Well, you mentioned too strong, and it's her ability to offload the football when contact's been made. The first half, the Eagles handled them very well. The second half has been the ability to get the ball away, create a bit of second pace play. Trindle dropping the ball, relieving the pressure. And then the Eels. Look at this, forward. Kalis, onto his brother Jason Kalis. PJ Marsh. Then Nathan Hindmarsh, great one-handed offload. And David Violecki, I should have said. Straight, too strong. It was a great try.
Well, they're young, they're big, they're fast, they're strong. Again, coming from the ball being coughed up. But David Violecki, that's his second try for the night. He's a great player, so is Hindmarsh. They're able to keep that second phase play going, and they score the try.
This to extend it to 16, the margin. Again from White out. A couple of these earlier in the first half. Of course, you can see there the growing totals for Jason Taylor. Another good strike that scrapes inside the left-hand upright.
Well, I've got to say, just looking at Jason Taylor, that deadly look, he peers upon the ball. It's like that fellow that looks at those spoons and bends those spoons. He's basically looking at the ball and saying, go over.
Uri Geller. You pulled Uri Geller out of the pack.
Pretty powerful eyes.
I don't know about that. Perhaps Jason could appear on a nighttime variety show and bend a few keys. Maybe Don Lane might invite him on. How are we going? How are we going? How are the Eels going? Very well at the moment. They lead by 16. And the Eagles, you would think, 20 minutes left, they were perhaps throwing caution to the wind when they turned the ball over, which resulted in the Eels' possession, and then violently scoring the try. Here's Solomona again, putting the kick in, on the toe once more. Out there is Jamie Lyon, who's something of a specialist at scoring those sorts of tries. This time he couldn't finish it off. It might be showtime here at Parramatta, I think.
Well, you call it showtime, Warren, but this guy here, Solomona, great with the football, got all the skills, putting the ball on the toe for Jamie Lyon. Shows the strength of play that you've got at your club when you can bring a bloke like Lyon off the bench with 20 minutes to go. He certainly will add impact to this side.
Keep it in.
And there's 13 Northern Eagles players that basically wipe the sweat off their brow thinking of that ball ready to touch.
Will he be with the Eagles next year? How many of these players, in fact, will be with the Eagles? Here's Evans. Good tackle again from PJ Marsh. It's been terrific in the defensive line for the Eels tonight. Tuvey almost got the arm free. Some support there in the shape of Ben Walker. Dunlap out there in 18. Takes it across the halfway line. Kamala kicking. Touched by the Eels. Here it is. Walker chasing through. Will bounce up for him. He dummies. Reaches out. Did he get it across the line? No, he didn't play on it. Is. In fact, it's come back to Brad Drew. And now the Eagles go on the counter-attack. Drew is still going.
Well, the better option there for Ben Walker would have been to go down, take the tackle, and get a quick play the ball. The Eels were struggling to get back, and the support play of the Eagles were coming in numbers.
A try there for the Eagles, have given them a real hope in the run down towards the full-time siren. They score a couple of tries late here. That one may come back to haunt them. Taylor from inside the 40, looking for the 40, 20. It's searching for the sideline. It won't find it until it goes into the in-goal area.
He's got a magnificent kicking game, Jason Taylor. Unfortunately, that time it did go dead in goal. While the Eagles are behind on the scoreboard, one of the most impressive things about their attack tonight has been the aggressiveness they've shown when running the football. They've hit the holes, they've run strong. It's put the Eels under a lot of pressure. Some teams, they like to play the fancy football and try and match the Eels at touch football, trying to show off their skills. Tonight, they've left it to Walker and Kamali, and the guys have just hit the holes as they've given away a penalty.
Well, it is touch football now for the Eagles, as you'd expect, and here it is. A bit unlucky here. Wayne Evans getting the ball backwards, off the legs there, and, well, obviously it was touched by, was it Greg Everett alongside? I didn't see too much longer to play. Live ball, and a second look at it. Stephen Clark obviously had the good angle on it, though. Drew. Dummy half. Look out, here he is, popping into Jamie Lyon. What a danger Brad Drew is, close to the line. He sets them up for other players, he scores them himself. He is the buy of the year.
Well, we mentioned it in the first half when Drew runs from dummy half. He likes to skip across a couple of players and really get to the edge straight away. I think the best way to defend that is maybe jam in, put some pressure on Brad Drew. Don't give him the opportunity to get the outside men. Jam in at his runners. You can see the Eagles players not knowing what to do. They hung off. Then at the last minute, he was able to get in behind the defensive line.
Oh, he's had a great season, Laurie. Nice little ball there to Lyon. But darting out from dummy half, like any good hooker should do. The defence doesn't know if you're going to run the ball, kick it, pass it. And Brad Drew has been basically the catalyst for about 3 or 4 tries here tonight. Again, on the back of another error by the Northern Eagles. I think they've made about 3 or 4 important ones, and a champion side like the Eels has punished them with scoring tries.
No, they certainly haven't wasted too many chances here tonight. Brian Smith, the stat he likes. Can't even have a stat for it, but he likes to think of football about chances created and chances taken. And they have taken theirs tonight. Here's Taylor, just outside the 20 once again. With the death stare on the football once more. And he just drills it right between them once again.
Talking about drilling, Warren, the
Yes.
way that Drew, when he gets out of dummy half, they're so well drilled that the forwards and the outside backs, they know what hole is theirs and they really hit it. It gives Drew the opportunity to hit the runner or go himself, then get him behind. They're just well structured in attack.
Just as the Northern Eagles kick off, Warren, the JJ Gilman shield, which they were presented with tonight. The last time the Eels did that was back in 1986. And there's been a lot of comparison between the side of today and those in the mid-80s. And I think there's still got a while to go. But the likes of Brett Kenny playing 265 first straight games, Price 258, Sterling and Cronin. I think in a few years' time, this team here have got a chance to mark the greatness of a team coming here playing out of Parramatta Stadium.
They can take a step. They can wrap up the premiership this year. They're going to get a tough run. Some teams in some form at the moment. Bulldogs, of course. The battle that was a couple of weeks ago between the two of them. Sharks, despite dropping last night's game, are in form also. Newcastle with Andrew Johns back. Not to be discounted either as Taylor kicked it low, skimming towards the touchline, but unfortunately for him, the first skim was out on the full. Just over 13 minutes left.
Time has beaten the Northern Eagles tonight, but Jeff Tuvey's football career is winding down. He's got about 90 minutes of football left in his great career. He's been good tonight. He's tackled strongly. His darts out of dummy half have been great.
Kamali, Walker, cut out ball for Hopalani. Is that a second half? We would like to forget the pass was out in front of him. Didn't give him much of a chance at reeling it in, but this has been a great night for Big Hopper.
Now, unfortunately, the execution has certainly let the Eagles down in the second half. Parramatta did give them a sniff of an opportunity, but they just haven't been good enough to take it.
Taylor working the scrum. Marsh with the step on Brendan Reeves and also Shane Dunley coming across in cover defence. Andrew Ryan, well, the Bobcat has put one down here. It's again a solid contact. Phil Bailey there as well as O'Mealy. Exchange the high or low fives. He's had a terrific game. Thinking about that mistake, Andrew Ryan has just been super. His runs from dummy half especially have made him stand out tonight amongst the forwards out there. Ben Walker tracking across field with Petherbridge, juggled it, got between them as well and will beat them to the try line. Good piece of play from him, bobbled the ball and it might have put the Parramatta defenders off who probably thought he was going to drop it.
Well, I'm sure it did. That time Ben Walker, he actually stopped before he got to the line, then took off again running across field, and then Petherbridge cutting back across. You see the Eels, just stop. And Petherbridge, plenty of pace, goes over to score.
Yes, Laurie, when he turns the ball back inside here and he fumbles the ball, the Eels just stop. But great acceleration by Scott Petherbridge. He scores the try. The Northern Eagles certainly aren't giving in. They'll try their hardest, but I think time will beat them here, this game at Parramatta Stadium.
Anything this game tonight for the Eagles. They not coughed up so much possession in good positions and also at times in the second half inside their own half. Poor strike from Walker. Left And the moment he kicked it, pretty similar to the one the first occasion when they had a penalty goal early in the game from just outside the Parramatta 20. 34-16 though. The Eels have this one comfortably in hand. Of course, it will continue their commanding lead at the head of the premiership table. Led by 5 over the Bulldogs coming into this game. Bulldogs win last night, moved them to 35 points. The Eels will move to 40 points. And it will make their record just 1 loss in their last 19 games. Luke Bird kicking it long again. A couple of metres on the dead ball line. Plenty of depth from his kickoffs. Topawati. Next week, the Eagles will have the Broncos in their final game of the season at North Power Stadium. I wonder, we talked about before, just how many of their current stars, 12 of them on contracts extending into next year and beyond. The likes of Kamali, of course, and Mealy there as well. Well, many of them will be signed with other clubs by the time they get to North Power next week. Here's Reeves again. They won't pick him up. A rush of tries in a hurry here for the Eagles. And, well, that try that went begging when Ben Walker went close to the line from a toe through. He passed it back to Brad Drew. He said that might come back to haunt them if they scored a couple late. And, well, it comes back to be a very important piece of play now.
Well, we speak about the ability to try and get one-on-one with an opponent. If they don't make the tackle and you've got support play looming, then it makes it extremely difficult to defend. That time was just great support play. He certainly picked up that part of his game over the last month, Brendan Reeves.
Yes, he's a very good player, Brendan Reeves. As Ben Walker converts the try. The full marks to the Northern Eagles. Brett Kamali taking on the line again. Steve Menzies in his customary backing up position. There's Adam Muir. They have missed him. The leading player in offloads, Nick Kosef alongside, injured out for the year. They certainly have missed him. But full marks to the Northern Eagles. They certainly haven't thrown the towel in. Although I do think that time will beat them with just under 8 minutes to go.
Well, they have shown a lot of spirit here tonight. And I'm sure it's made the other team sit up and take notice and think, hey, maybe we are a chance against this Parramatta outfit.
Bird, another long kickoff to the dead ball line again almost. And Morley took it. I'm not sure if he knew how close his foot was to the dead ball line.
One lost it.
Morley won't like the decision here. He contends the ball came off his legs and into the ground.
Tackle, boys.
There's obviously some concern here. I call Wayne Evans, who was a solid tackler. I mean, he's already got plenty of strapping around the ribs to start with. Just a solid tackle from Chad Robinson there. He was picked up in an awkward position, though, by David Solomona. That may come back to bite him.
I can't let him go on with it. Take him out the back, Robbie. Just some blood. No one can come on. Hey? Yeah, mate, it doesn't matter. Well, it's the same with Steve Menzies. You can't replace it a scrum. Let's go, boys. In we go.
Second time in this game as Jeff Turvey gets some tape applied to that wound on the forehead, that the Eagles have a player out of it and can't bring somebody else on to replace him. So once again here, this tackle release down to 12 men, although in fact Evans did pack into the scrum, so they did have the full complement out there. Here's PJ Marsh. Looking for a try they are now to send the Parramatta fans home yodeling. Robinson will play it just outside the 10. Taylor, ball back from the inside for Solomona. Once again, part of the action there. Here's Irvine, going himself from dummy half. I'll stop him just short of the line. Solomona a dummy half. Feeds it to Taylor. Nathan Kalis. Away from the Bailey tackle. puts it on the toe. Getting there to beat them all to the ball was Luke Burt's. Great vision once again. They have all the skills, the Eels, and they've got plenty of pace. How fast is that man?
Well, we marvel at the skill level of their forward, this Parramatta team. This time it's the ability to put the ball on the foot. A front rower in Nathan Kalis, summing up the situation, realising that Scott McLean was coming in. He's got two of the fastest men in the business in Luke Burt and Jason Moody on the wing, putting the ball through. Lovely kick. That's a sensational bit of work by the front rower.
Well, they're classy all around the team, Laurie. Nathan Kalis doing a nice little grubber there. Great work by Luke Burt. He's on our screens now. He's scored 2 tries tonight. He's handled the position well. Centre, we know him basically as a winger. That's where he made his debut for the Eels. And has come up with 2 tries wearing the number 3 jersey. They really are a classy outfit, these Eels.
He's picked 5 of 6 tonight. Again, from wide out. Some testing ones tonight. And he's picked all of them from out of this part of the field. Well, his best strike. Again, says you can give him a rap, but he can come up with a poor kick, can't he? Put the mock at him a couple of times this evening, but they lead 38 points to 22 with just under 5 minutes left. Yep.
The Eagles there in no hurry. Now behind by 16. Their effort's been great tonight, the Eagles, but they've just come up against the side who everyone believes, or most tipsters believe, will take out the competition this year. They're playing some wonderful football, and it's their skill level. Every week they turn up, and it does not cease to amaze you some of the skill levels that these players have.
Here's the short kick-off. Lyon got there to knock it backwards into the arms of Violecki. Irvine goes from dummy half. 11 changes have been made by each team. Just the last one left now, but it will be a little consequence. Solomona. Plenty of the action in the last few moments. Lovely pass to Robinson, backing his way to the Eagles' 40-metre line. Hindmarsh going from dummy half. Ran at Jeff Tuvey. Played the entire game tonight. Now Nathan Hindmarsh will be penalised for that. And be marched 10 metres as well. Ready.
I trust you weren't talking to me then, all right? You're talking to one of your teammates, because if you were, you would have been sitting down, all right? Keep it quiet.
Well handled by Stephen Clark. You see there, Hindmarsh getting the Cardinal centre being penalised while in possession. As we play on, here's Menzies. Ball's gone forward, and there will be 6 more tackles for the Eagles. Touched by one of the Eels. Here's Pepperbridge to Kamali. Running across field, and an angled runner in Bailey ignored him. Now he flings it backwards. It comes to Albert Torrance, who's cleaned up close to the touchline. Nathan Hindmarsh there again to make the hit. Walker to O'Mealy. Almost got away there from the tackle of Jamie Lyon. 9 metres out. Perhaps one more try in them before the full-time siren. Here's Hopewadi. Plays it back. Came to Webbrell. The Eels are up off the line very quickly. Kamali. Second man play again. Here's Riggs into a gap. They're in once more. And some mistakes earlier in this second half are really going to come back to haunt them. Once again, another obstruction to look at here. There was a runner on the decoy angle. perhaps interfered with the Parramatta defensive line here. Reeves poured through the hole left by that runner. Let's take a look at it once more.
Well, again, they've had success when they've hit the edge. Oh, that's okay for mine. Phil Bailey, he pulls out. Jason Taylor, he was complaining to the referee. He just touched him a little bit. I don't think this is too much to worry about.
I'm going to go the other way. Perhaps just to be contrary, but I thought that Taylor was given no chance at featuring in the play after the runner comes through in front of the man with the ball. This will be interesting to see this one, what they call. Taylor was certainly going to... He didn't have eyes for Bailey. He was going towards Reeves when the contact was made. I'm going to say no try, Loz.
What about how solid the contact is? He's just touched him.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, I don't think, how solid the contact was. He certainly was in Taylor's path as he was going towards Reeves. For mine anyway, for what it's worth, I'm going to say no try.
I just feel sometimes we go up the wrong path. You see this happen every set of 6 when the teams run decoy runs. That time there, just a slight push.
Just outside the 10-metre line.
Yeah, I think Taylor's entitled to be able to make a play, and he was denied that opportunity, and there it is, the penalty. So, well, if no one else, at least Graham Weston agrees with me, but I know the point you're trying to make.
As long as they're consistent. I don't agree with it, but if that's the way that they're going to rule, they really have to be consistent, because if that is going to decide a game later on this year, coaches will be blowing up a treat.
Well, we've seen a couple of them tonight. One either way, one denied to Brett Hodgson in the first half, and then Brendan Reeves.
The only thing that worries me is if all of a sudden you're beaten on the outside and you see an attacking player there, and you change your angle and you run and you claim he's impeded you, I just don't like the look of it. I think that there's going to be some controversy somewhere along the line.
Yeah, no doubt about it, I'm sure. We will see at some stage during the final series one of those calls which could be a 50-50 one, go against the side, and it might knock them out of the premiership race. We'll certainly hear plenty about it then. We need to try and sort the whole issue out before we get to that stage. The kick from Irvine is out on the full. We've got less than 60 seconds left. Next week, the Eels take on the Roosters in what could be an enormous game for the Roosters should they lose tomorrow against the Dragons at the football stadium. They need one win, the Roosters, not this loss to the Eagles, to cement their place in the finals. They have 2 huge games to finish off the season. Play on. No, it's not. The knock on.
Yeah, come on, 14 did. 14 did.
And that'll just about see us out as far as action here tonight at Parramatta. It doesn't matter at this late stage. The Eagles aren't happy about the decision. It was knocked backwards by Ben Walker, but as we said, it's a little consequence now. 38 points to 22. The Eels have wrapped up this one. They reached 40 points in the minor premiership after 25 rounds. It extends their winning streak to 7 in a row now, and the Blue and Gold Army will go home well satisfied tonight.
Well, again, it's just been a good performance by the Parramatta Eels. They've done what they had to. They come here to get the 2 points. I'm sure Brian Smith still would not be pleased with the way the team starts their football in this second half. There's windows of opportunity for the opposition. They seem to take their foot off the accelerator. The Northern Eagles, they were gallant tonight in defeat. They really muscled up for the first 60 minutes defensively. They were getting off their line. They were putting the Eels under a lot of pressure. They were stopping the support play of the Eels. They were limiting their offloads. And they were really running with some aggression. And really getting one-on-one with some of the Eels defenders, troubling them. But in the end, the class of this Eels side, the ability for them to hold on when they're under a bit of pressure, come up with a big play when it's required, that will take them a long way in this competition.
Brad Drew is very good once again for the Eels tonight. The JJ Gilton Shield is out there, and the Eels will do a lap around Parramatta Stadium. to celebrate the fact that they've wrapped up the 2001 minor premiership. They'll take it around, and I'm sure all the fans will stick around to see them do it as well. A terrific achievement by them, and the Eagles season is finished, unfortunately for them. The House of Cards that was the joint venture has really hit the deck in recent times. Their season now is also finished, and as we said, we'll wait and see how many of the current players remain with the Eagles in 2002. Let's go down now to Steve Mortimer.
Thanks very much, Warren. I've got Brad Drew, the Parramatta Eels hooker, number 9, 38 points to 22. High scoring game, but an important victory.
Yeah, it was a high scoring game. Probably wasn't our best games of the season, but we come up with another win, and I suppose a little bit of upset preparation. We got a few changes to the side, but we can afford to do that this time of the season, just work out a few combinations leading into the semis.
I thought the first half, the Eagles really put it to you. 5 minutes ago, they were leading 12 points to 6. They made a couple of mistakes and were able to get a couple of tries and lead 16-12 at half time.
Yeah, they certainly did put up a good performance in the first half, and we got in the change room and had a good think about things after half-time, and really wanted to get back to our game plan, and we did it pretty well in the second half.
You couldn't crack a gig on the number 9 jersey for Panthers for many years, but you've got it here with the Eels, and you've taken full advantage of it, Brad.
Yeah, I'm just really grateful for the opportunity I've got down here. Brian's put a bit of faith in me, signing me down here. I'm very appreciative of it.
Go and enjoy the celebrations with the boys. Congratulations.
Brad Drew with Steve Mortimer. We'll take a break and come back to wrap it all up here at Parramatta after the Eels have beaten the Eagles. Welcome back to Parramatta Stadium, and the Parramatta Eels doing a lap of honour with the J.J. Giltinan Shield for wrapping up the minor premiership. This their last home game of the season, and plenty of fans have hung around to see the famous trophy and the minor premiers for the season 2001.
Well, they've been the most consistent side so far this year, and congratulations to the Parramatta Eels finishing minor premiers. But after next weekend, the new competition starts. That is the semi-finals. They'll be wanting to hold a different piece of silverware in about 5 weeks' time.
No doubt about that. As the trophy makes its way around in front of the main grandstand here at Parramatta, let's take a look at the stats from the second half and see what they tell us as far as this battle. It was an absorbing one for most of the match. You can see possession once again remained very even throughout the game.
It's a pretty good game of football. Both sides were certainly making a lot of hard contact when they were going into the defensive lines, but in the end it was the ability of the Eels to offload the football and come up with the right play when it was required.
Let's take a look also at the completion rates. 23 of 39 for the Eels, 21 of 40 for the Eagles in the end, and those turnovers in critical positions and also critical times of the game as far as momentum went, they really hurt their chances of causing an upset here tonight.
Yeah, they did. They turned the ball over a lot more than what the Eels did, but also 32 missed tackles. That was from the ability of the Eels to create a lot of second phase play. In the first half, they really stopped that. They stopped their go forward up the middle, therefore they stopped their support play. But in the second half, the Eels got on a bit of a roll, and in the end, it was guys like Nathan Kalis and Nathan Hindmarsh who certainly come into their own.
The Eels have now scored 137 tries in 25 rounds. They become the leading team as far as tries in a minor premiership. They've broken the record set by the 1935 Roosters, the old Eastern Suburbs Roosters, but that was set in a 14-game minor premiership, so it puts it in perspective. The Eels have done very well with that record by the 35 Roosters. Really should stand for all time. There it is, 7 tries for the Eels. They've won 38 points to 22.